Hey, welcome. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on something that can feel, well, incredibly complex, your own website. Our goal here is simple. We want to give you the clarity to talk about your site with complete confidence and get rid of all that technical overwhelm.
For so many business owners, their website feels kind of like a black box. It works most of the time, but how? And why does talking about it with a developer feel so intimidating? Well, in this explainer, we're going to demystify it, piece by piece. Okay, let's just dive right into it. We're going to start with a feeling I bet is super familiar to a lot of you. That technical fog that just descends the second you try to talk about your website.
Have you ever been there? Maybe you're in a meeting with a developer or an agency, and you just find yourself nodding along, but on the inside, you are completely lost? Trust me, you are not alone in that feeling.
And look, this feeling usually boils down to a few key things. You're hit with all this technical jargon that sounds like a totally different language, and it leaves your head spinning. You have questions, but you don't even know how to ask them. But don't worry, we're going to fix all that today.
So here it is. The absolute key to understanding everything else comes down to one single concept. See, every website in the entire world has two different sides. Once you really get this, everything else just starts to click into place.
First up, you've got the front end. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the front of the website. It's everything your visitors see and click on and interact with. The layout, the colors, the text, the images. Basically, if you can see it in your browser, boom, that's the front end.
And then, on the other side, there's the back end. Think of this like the hidden engine room of a ship. You can't see it, but it's doing all the heavy lifting. It's where your customer data lives, it's where contact forms get processed, it's where all the logic and rules for your site are chugging away behind the scenes.
Now, I love this analogy because it makes the distinction crystal clear. The front end is like the beautiful storefront of a shop. It's what the customers see and touch. The back end, well, that's the storage room and all the staff working behind the scenes, managing the inventory and making sure the whole operation runs smoothly.
So why does this even matter? Why should you care? Because now you can communicate with real precision. You'll know if the change you want is just a simple visual front-end tweak or if it's a more complex, functional back-end job. And honestly, just knowing that can save you from paying for work you don't actually need.
All right, awesome. So now that we've got that whole front-end, back-end thing down, let's zoom in on the front end, the parts you actually see, and let's break down how it's put together. So the biggest piece of the puzzle is what we call a page. It's just a single destination on your site that has its own web address, its own URL. Your home page, your services page, your contact page. Each one is its own container, built for a very specific reason. Now, these pages are broken down into sections. A section is really just a logical block of content on a page. So that big banner at the very top of your home page, that's a section. The area with all your customer testimonials, that's another section. They basically help organize everything and guide your visitor's eye down the page. And we can get even smaller, even more granular with what are called components. A component is a small, reusable building block. Think about things like buttons or navigation menus or contact forms. Really well-designed websites reuse these components all over the place to keep things consistent and to make updates way, way faster. Okay, so let's use another analogy to make this super easy to remember. A page is like an entire room. A section is like a group of furniture in that room, like the couch and the coffee table. And a component is just an individual piece of furniture, like a single chair or a lamp, or in our case, a single button. See? Simple, right?
All right, you are doing great. You've got the basic structure down. Now let's tackle two of the most common and, honestly, most confusing words you'll hear from developers. Getting these will prepare you for pretty much any technical chat.
First one up is custom. Now, this word, it sounds expensive. It sounds complicated, but really all it means is that something was built for a specific purpose, on purpose. It's different from a standard template. And here's the key. Custom does not automatically mean better. It just means different.
So when is it actually worth it to pay for custom work? Well, it's super valuable when your business has a truly unique process, or when a standard template is literally holding you back from growing. Or maybe you need a really specific automation. For most of us, though, a smart mix of standard and custom is the perfect sweet spot.
All right, the second word is dynamic. Again, this one sounds way more complicated than it actually is. Dynamic content is just any content on your site that updates automatically because it's pulling information from a database.
So your blog feed, that's dynamic. Your list of products, dynamic. Search results, totally dynamic.
So here's the main takeaway, the thing I really want you to remember about this. Dynamic is completely normal. In fact, it's necessary for most modern websites. It just means content is being generated from data. It is not a secret code word for complicated and expensive.
Okay, let's step back and see what we've just done here. By understanding these core parts and by decoding these tricky terms, you've just unlocked a new superpower, the ability to talk about your website with actual genuine confidence.
I mean, just imagine this. Instead of some vague request, imagine being able to say something like, "This is a front-end change. We just need to update the button component inside the main hero section." Wow. I mean, that is clear, it's actionable, and it shows that you are in total command. Seriously, this knowledge isn't just nice to have. It's your shield. It lets you ask smarter questions. It helps you spot red flags in proposals. It helps you avoid getting overcharged for simple visual changes. It lets you delegate work with total clarity and ultimately make better, more informed decisions for your business.
Because at the end of the day, that's what this all comes down to. The knowledge you just gained isn't about you becoming a developer. It's about you gaining the confidence to be an empowered, effective owner of your most important digital asset. So the next time you look at your website, what's the first thing you'll see differently?